Hi, this is Rule Galloway at SSW5. We have a special guest from London, Mr. Ralph T, who is one of the partners in Expansion Records. How are you doing, Ralph?
Very well, thank you. Excellent to be here after my long train journey.
So we were just talking for the people watching that Expansion started
1986, so it's nearly 30 years ago. In fact, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary next year, starting off in January at our Luxury Soul Weekend.
And that was started by John Anderson and Richard
John
Serling.
Anderson and Richard Serling. They originally had a label together called Grapevine,
Yeah.
when Richard was working at RCA Records, and the two of them ran Grapevine until that situation changed and they started Expansion through an independent distributor that eventually... that was down in London, and that's when I became involved in the late 80s. So I wasn't there quite at the start.
Do you remember which one the first release was that you worked?
The first album artist I worked was Ronnie McNair, I know that for sure. We did an album called Life and Love.
Yep.
That was the first album project I did. The first single I did was actually Helen Baylor. There's No Greater Love. I don't know if you remember that one. Helen Baylor, gospel singer
Yeah, yeah.
originally, one-timer lead singer of Side Effect. She was the first single.
So in all those years, who all the artists that you've interviewed? Yeah, sorry, released records by.
So many, I can't give you an exact number. I can just think of catalogue numbers on different ranges. We've probably done about 100 at least artist albums. Not all the albums we do are brand new, current recordings. Some of them we do are reissues, so we do that simultaneously on top of our compilations as well, and the singles. We did start out originally as a singles label, and that ran for a few years, right up until the point there was a record store chain at the time called Our Price Records. You remember them?
Yeah.
And they used to come in and support everything we did, and when they went down or closed their doors, that was singularly the biggest factor in terms of us shifting away from the 12-inch single more towards albums, which we still do to this day. But that Our Price moment and them going away was a significant moment.
Have you seen an increase in vinyl sales in the recent years?
Well, having done this for myself near on 30 years of
Yeah.
Expansion, I did work at Arista Records before that, so I worked, I saw what was going on there. Worked with a lot of the black music artists there, including Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin, Jermaine Jackson, Kashif. I had all that background momentarily before I joined Expansion, and over the years I have been with the label, we've seen so many changes. As I said, we started off doing singles, then we did artist albums, then we did compilations. Vinyl was dead at one point.
Yeah.
We didn't do a 7-inch for at least sort of 10-15 years. We didn't do a 12-inch for a number of years. At this moment, and it does change all the time, 12-inch singles I would say not really very much. The 7-inch single has enjoyed a phenomenal resurgence just in the last 2 or 3 years, and the CDs are taking a little bit of a dive if I'm honest, but they're still in there. And of course we've got downloads that have come along now as well,
Yeah.
and they make up a little bit of the business for us as well.
So how do you find your artists, your new artists from the States?
No two situations are ever the same. I mean, sometimes I hear about an artist I go and pursue, other times an artist comes to us. It can really vary.
So tonight we've got one of your artists, Mark Staggers, performing live.
Yes.
He's just released a CD.
He's got a brand new album on Expansions called Dreamcatcher, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Key to My Heart, the album before. Really excited about working with Mark a little bit later tonight. We actually only met for the first time today when we've corresponded, via Facebook, email, text, but for the first time, it's been great to meet him earlier on in the day. Looking forward to the performance tonight.
So what other releases have you got lined up for the future?
We've had a very busy year this year with artists. We had started the year with Kenya, and she performed at Southport, and we've done Tristan, who are a group. They're a group actually from the Netherlands, a little bit like Incognito and that kind of style. They're also coming back to the UK for the second time later on this year. And Mark's album, of course, Dreamcatcher. And moving a little further into the year, we're going to be working with Tracy Hamlin, who has been recording on other labels previously. It's her first album with us here at Expansion. Her album's called No Limits, and that's pretty much as far as we've got artist-wise at the moment. Of course, we've still got our compilations coming out as ever. We started the year with our Luxury Soul 2015 box set, which has done extremely well, I'm pleased to say. I did a compilation about a couple of months ago called Soul Life. It was inspired by a track by Tom Glide, actually, called Soul Life, and there happened to be a lot of great individual tracks around at the time that I thought would come together well as a collection, and I've done that, and I'm just about to do